Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of The Spark. I'm Coach David. Hope you're doing great today and hope that everything in your life is moving in the right direction. Super excited to have you here with me and to be able to share some great stuff with you that I believe will take you to a new level, a new height, and get you going in the direction that you need to be going. It is always a pleasure to me to be able to give you information, to, inspire you, and also to help you improve in any area that you need help in. As a mental performance coach, one of the things that we always look at is how to get our performance to the next level. So today I'm going to talk about, once again, trust the process. Now, this one right here is going to be great because it's going to help you get to the next level. Because what I'm going to do is talk to you about interruptions. And I'm going to encourage you to stop interrupting your progress. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of times people think that they're stuck. They may think that they're failing, but the truth of the matter is that they are interrupting their own progress. What do you mean, David? What are you getting at? Every time you stop to check for results and it's too early to really see any results, what you're doing, you're resetting the process. You're the process, the very process that you're supposed to be trusting, you're resetting it every time you go in and you look at it and, well, I don't see anything. So there are things that comes out of that causes you to kind of fall behind. And most people don't lose because the process doesn't work. They lose because they won't leave it alone long enough in order for it to work. So what I want to do on today, I want to inspire you. I want to help you improve. I'm going to talk to you about the obsession with results, which also kills your momentum. And so when you have that happening, when you start looking at that and you start getting into that, you will see that every time you go in and say, well, I'm not seeing anything. Let me go, what's happening here and everything. What you're doing, you're actually minimizing the internal working. And what you're also doing, you're stopping the process. You're interrupting the progress that comes from your process. I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to be better than that. So we're going to talk about a few things and we're going to get into it and we're going to peel it apart. Then we're going to put it back together. I may show you some painful things on today about yourself. That's okay, because what I'm going to do in the end, I'm going to bring it back together and I'm going to say, hey, look, this is how we build it for success. And whatever area of success you're looking for, I know that this will help you. So if you have an obsession with results, okay, if you're one of these people who say, look, I got to see something, what you're doing, you're killing momentum, because what you're doing, you continually go back and you look at it. I'm going to give you a perfect example of that. I made a decision that I needed to lose weight, okay? And I have an app on my phone that I use. Now, this particular app says that I'm supposed to get on the scale and weigh myself every day. I don't do that. And I'm just telling you I don't do it because I know what that will do to me if I do that. What do you mean? Okay, if I'm getting on the scale every morning looking at my weight, what if my weight doesn't change? Actually, what if my weight goes up? People say they trust the process, but they're constantly looking for proof that the process is working. This is what I do. I'm not saying this is for you. I'm saying this works for me. I check it once a week. Every Saturday morning when I get up, I check it. And then I can see a week's worth of the process working, and I can see a week worth of progress. Because like I said, if I checked it every day and I don't see the results that I'm looking for, that I believe I should have, here's what's going to begin to happen. My brain is going to begin to panic. It's going to begin to say, maybe this isn't working. Maybe I need to do something different. Maybe I need to change, but I got a process that I've trusted. Or maybe this process just isn't for me. So what do? I'll tell you what most people do. I refuse to do this. They'll adjust it. They'll switch. They'll restart. And now you're not in a process any longer. What you're actually in is a very bad loop. Okay? Consistency never fails you, but the interruption of the consistency, it does fail you. So here's what we got to understand about that. If you have an obsession with results, it's killing your momentum. And you got to cut that out. You got to stop that. What you got to do, you now have to do what I call set evaluation windows, not emotional check-ins. Like, yeah, are there some mornings that I get up and I'll be like, I wonder what has happened in the last couple of days? Yeah, I do have that. But I refuse to fall into that emotional check-in. And otherwise, in other words, I have an evaluation window, and that's every Saturday morning, regardless. I get up, I get on the scale, I measure my weight, I measure my body fat, I measure my body mass index. That's what I'm doing. And I've been doing that for about the last 6 weeks, and I've had success with that. But I can tell you right now that if I did that every day, and maybe, my digestive system is off a little bit, my brain would begin to panic and question that what I'm doing really working. And that's what happened to people. When people get into that, they check their progress every day. Like, oh no, I'm not getting, they're looking at their bank account every day. Oh no, that money's going. You've got to get out of that vicious loop, and you've got to get into consistency and stay with it long term. Don't let interruption of your process stop or hinder your progress. Set the evaluation window. Set a date. I'm going to look at it this time, and I know that. So now you got to stop asking this question right here. Is it working? Here's the question I want you to begin to ask. Ask yourself, did I execute the process? Because I know this right here, that if I consistently execute the process, then I will receive the progress. Boy, that's tight. All right. So that's number one. Number two, you got to stop training your brain to doubt. What are you talking about? Every time you check in early and you don't see the results that you believe you're supposed to see, or the results that you want to see, you are reinforcing doubt within your brain. And then the brain starts to associate that doubt with disappointment. You become disappointed. So now effort feels real heavy. Effort feels like real slow. And wait a minute, what's going on here? You begin to question yourself. Discipline of staying with something now becomes harder. And so what you got to do, you got to quit training your brain to doubt your process. What you have to do is train your brain to be consistent. And you know that consistency over time is going to get you what you want. See, if you're training your brain to doubt, your belief starts to drop. And what you'll do, you'll start doubting your process, and you'll go right back to what I said before, where you'll start questioning things and you'll start looking at things. And remember last week I talked about the itch to switch. Boy, that itch will come up real quick. And what you'll want to do, you'll want to go and try to find something else, because what you're telling your brain is it's not working. That's what you're really sharing with your brain. And that's a very dangerous place to be, because then what your brain will do, your brain will seek to find proof for you that it is not working. So what your brain will do is go get somebody who's like on chapter 20 of their life, and you're only on chapter 2, and it'll try to make a comparison between the individual that's on chapter 20 and you on chapter 2. Listen, checking out their chapter 20, I bet you that if you went back to their chapter 2 where you are, you're going to find that they were pretty much in the same place that you were. And so you can't be making that comparison, because now the next thing is you're going to get upset. And every unnecessary check is a vote against your own belief. That's right. Every time you go in and you say, well, I'm going to check this, I'm going to see what's going on here, because it's got to be working. And if it ain't working, then something's going on. Now, I saw David over there. David's been doing this for this amount of time. And look at David. David's dropping weight, and I've been doing it for 2 weeks, and I ain't seen nothing. You have got to stop that. Here's what you need to do. Perfect your focus. What do you mean? When I'm perfecting my focus, and there's 2 stages to this. There's the execution stage and the evaluation stage. In the execution stage, I don't have any judgment. Why? Because I'm executing my process. Now, in the evaluation stage, I objectively review what's going on with my progress. So execution is process. Remember, we stick to the process. We trust the process. Evaluation is progress, where I take an objective review. And here's what I don't do. I don't get the execution and the evaluation mixed up, because a lot of people do that and they begin to actually evaluate in the execution stage. And when they do that, now they're looking for results where they should not be looking for results. Protect your focus at all costs. Know the difference between your execution and know the difference of evaluation. And when you do that and you don't confuse them, great things are going to come to you, because now you get out of the unnecessary checks. And then you get out of the doubt. Then you get out of training your brain to doubt. And so when you train your brain to say, hey, you know what? I'm going through my execution like I'm supposed to. I'm trusting the process. I'm following what I'm supposed to be doing. Then when you get to the evaluation stage, you're going to see results. And even if you don't see results, you got to know that things are going on that should be happening. That's number 2. Number 3 is pretty simple. Growth happens underground first. Oh, yes, it does. Another way of saying that for you and I, growth is going on internally before I see it externally. People expect visible results too soon. That's just the truth of the matter. When you are in, once again, the execution, you shouldn't be looking for results. You should be looking to stay to the process and execute the process. Because here's what's going to happen. If they don't see growth, they'll assume that there is nothing going on, that this isn't working, that this isn't happening. And then they'll start getting that itch to switch. And then when you get the itch to switch and you switch, you restart. I talked about that last week. And you do not want to have to start the process all over. But see, here's the thing about it. This is what they don't realize. The most important progress is happening where you can't see it. It's happening inside of you. I talked about this before. Your mindset is changing. Actions are changing. What you do in life is changing. You can't see that. It's internal, but you will see some external results. I'll use me again. The changes that were going on with me was snacking too late, or snacking too much, or eating things that I should not be eating. I didn't say I eliminated. There's still a lot of things I love, and I eat them. But what happened internally, there was a change. And the change that came told me, you can't do it like this, but you can do it like this. So during that execution phase, I'm not going to tell you that it wasn't tough sometimes. I'm not going to tell you that I didn't think about it sometimes, but I understood this right here. If I execute this process correctly, my progress is guaranteed. So the most important progress is happening where you can't see it. Now, I want you to think about this. I'm going to give you a real life example. When you plant a seed, I just recently planted some seeds for my garden. When you plant a seed, you don't see anything at first. Here's the truth. The seed grows downward before it grows upward. The roots form before anything breaks the surface. Just the other day, I was looking, I planted some corn, and that corn has been underneath the dirt for about 8 days. And now I see little green sprigs sticking up of my corn. That tells me something. That tells me that there is a progression to this process. And all I've got to do is plant the seed, leave it alone. Don't keep digging it up, trying to check the seed and see if I got roots. If I do that, it's never going to grow. Imagine if I took that corn seed and dropped it in the dirt, and then the next day I go back and say, well, I don't see anything. Let me cover it back up. And then I'll say, okay, I'm going to give it 2 days. I go back, uncover it 2 days later. I don't see anything. Listen, if I keep digging up the seed to check to see if I have roots, I'm never going to have roots, and it's never going to grow. Visible success is built on invisible patience. I'm going to say that again. Your visible success, the way you get success is that you have invisible patience. That goes right back. You know your execution stage and you know your evaluation stage. I'm still not even evaluating the seed now. Why? Because the seed is in execution stage. The corn is broke through the ground, but it's got a long way to go before I'm going to eat some corn. But I promise you that if I continue to nurture that seed and take care of it and let it go through the execution phase like it's supposed to, here soon, I'm going to have me some corn. because I'm telling you, it's going to happen. So you've got to respect that unseen phase. Just because you can't like measure it right now, don't worry about it. Doesn't mean it's not working. It is working. So I hope that you understand that, hey, get over the obsession with results that kills your momentum. Get away from training your brain to doubt. Stop looking for results, immediately, because growth happens underground. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to trust the process. Stop interfering and interrupting your progress by interfering with your process. Stop checking every day. I'm encouraging you to do that. Stop reacting emotionally. Don't get all emotional. This is working. Your process is working. You just can't see it. You just can't measure it right now. What you have to do is stop restarting every time you feel uncertain. You got to trouble your troubles. You got to be certain about it, because here's the truth. Your process is working. It just hasn't become visible to everyone yet. It hasn't even become visible to you. But you got to know deep down inside, hey, I'm on this. I'm on this. You know what? You know what the deal is? The people that win, they're not smarter than you. No, they're not lucky. No, they just didn't dig up their seed. They trusted the process and followed through and watched great things happen. I hope this has helped you on today. I hope it has helped you to stop interrupting your progress by continually to trust your process. This is Coach Dave. I want you to hear me on this. I truly believe in you. I've seen this work too many times. Start trusting your process over and over and over and over again. And when it seems like it's not working, you got to encourage yourself. You got to build yourself up. Say, oh, I know it's working. I know it's working. Why? Because I got a process that works, and I will get the progress that I am looking for. Well, like I said, I hope this helped you. Please share this with somebody. Please help somebody else and share this with them, because there are many people that are going through a process right now and they're unsure. But if you will help them and encourage them, and you'll let them know, hey, look, don't get obsessed with the results. Okay. I tell my students this all the time too, about trophies, because trophies to them are like results. I said, if you do the things that you're supposed to do in this process, the trophies will take care of themselves. The same thing goes with you. If you will trust your process and do the things that you're supposed to do in the process, the progress will take care of itself. Well, I'm going to get out of here on today. I hope you have a blessed week all week long. I hope this will feed you all week long. Go back and listen to it again and again. Share it with somebody. Help somebody else grow and develop. Remember this right here. You are the architect of your life. I'm Coach David. I believe in you. I'll see you the next time. You have a great one. Bye.